What's good, Andy? Did not think I'd be filming this video today, looking hella beat. Had to put the hood on for you. My name is Derek.
This 30-second video changed my life. I went from having a 6-figure tech salary to over 100,000 Instagram followers. What the heck? This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to share how it happened, but more importantly, I'm going to share the story of me finding happiness. But before all of that, let me introduce you to someone that I used to know.
So my name is Derek, as you guys know. I was born in Shreveport, Louisiana, but then I moved to Maryland in about the 3rd grade. It's difficult for me to decide what I want to do, whether going out to like the West Coast and like Silicon Valley or something like that, or going up to like New York, center of like the financial world.
As you can probably tell, I didn't have a lot of friends because all I focused on was school. My only goal in life was to get into a top college. That was my goal for the first 18 years of my life. I graduated valedictorian, I was a state tennis player, I got a great internship, and then one day I checked my phone and I have an email waiting for me from my dream college. This is the moment that I've been waiting for. This is the moment that all of my hard work finally pays off. I open up the email and I just been rejected. I went into a spiral. I had lived my entire life with this one goal. It's insane, but I had this one goal to get into this school, and now that I didn't get it, I didn't know what made me happy anymore. I spent so much of my life thinking about what's next. What do I have to do? How do I get there? And it took getting rejected from my dream college to realize that was what was stopping me from being happy. I graduated high school, and instead of going to my dream college, I go to the University of Maryland. But this time, I wasn't going to make the same mistake. I didn't worry about the future or stress about the past. Instead, I decided to focus on enjoying every single moment in the present. And as soon as I stopped doing those two things, I realized I was having the best time of my life. This is when my journey to 100K followers really started. Okay, so I finally graduate college. And I am living young Derek's dream. I'm living in New York City with my best friends. I have a fantastic job and I'm making over 6 figures. This is everything that young Derek wanted. And I finally have the job I wanted, and I'm living in my dream city, but for some reason, I just wasn't as happy as I was before. And I didn't know this at the time, but there was a real psychological reason for why I felt this way. And it was called the Hedonic Treadmill. All right, time for a quick lesson with Professor D. Okay. This is how most of us expect to feel when we reach our goals. We have our baseline happiness, and then we reach our goal, it goes up, and then we set another goal, reach it, and we keep going up and up and up. But the new theory that's been widely accepted by psychologists is we actually have a baseline happiness. More like this. And when we reach our goals, our happiness will go up, but then quickly come back to the baseline state, and this line never actually moves. So the hedonic treadmill is people chasing money and fame, thinking that their happiness will look like this, when in actuality, it looks a lot more like this. Okay, lesson over. But I didn't know any of the stuff we just talked about. I grew up thinking more money equals more happiness. So I got back on a treadmill and started running. I would wake up, go to work, come back, eat some dinner, go to bed, and then wake up the next day and do it all over again. Wake up, work, sleep, 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 wake up, work, sleep. And then COVID hit.
Fears grow of a global pandemic.
A huge spike in cases in Italy.
Hundreds of cases in South Korea.
It felt like in one night, New York had completely shut down. I packed up my stuff, left my apartment, and moved back home with my parents in Maryland. This is where I stayed for almost a year after I moved back to Maryland. This is my childhood bedroom. This is all that remains of my stuff. It's kind of poetic. This is where I first had the dream of moving to New York and getting a fancy job. And once I got that job, I came back here. I stayed in this room for almost a year. I was working 80 hours a week at a job I didn't really love, trying to get promoted, didn't see my friends, didn't really go outside even, and everyone around me was either talking about how much they hated their job or wanted to make more money. And I remember one day, my manager at work asked me what I would buy if I could buy anything. And I thought about it for a second, and then I said, my time. And I handed him my letter of resignation, walked out the door, and booked a flight to Hawaii. No, I'm just kidding. Unless. Okay, I did quit my job, but not exactly like that. I started my own business, doing something I really cared about. Oh, and I also moved to Hawaii. God, I loved Hawaii. Everyone there was just enjoying life. No one cared where you went to school, what you did for work. It was just about having fun. And for me, that was such a breath of fresh air coming from the hustle of New York. And in the middle of all of this, I had to make the biggest decision of my life. Yo, what's good, Andy? I came from all paths of life, man. I can connect with anyone. Put me on this show, I promise you. I will make Big Brother 2021 the most successful one. So in March 2021, I sent this DM to one of the casting managers of Big Brother. I didn't think that was gonna go anywhere. And he freaking responded. It all just moved so fast. I sent him that DM, he asked for a video, I sent it back, we hopped on a call, did another call, then a Zoom call, and I was meeting with producers. Before I knew it, I was pretty much offered a spot on the show. At the same time, I get a job offer from a really nice private equity firm in New York. I know I've said a lot of stuff in this video about not chasing money, but there's a lot of money on the table. But the job and the show literally start in the same week, so I can only pick one of them. It's kind of a poetic decision. Like, the irony is so insane. It really captures this internal struggle that I've had of doing things that I enjoy for the experience, or doing things for money and success and status and all the shiny things in the world. I couldn't decide, so like anyone would in that situation, I asked Gary Vee.
I'm not sure anybody is taking enough risk from 20 to 30. It is the most interesting thing that I've been thinking about, which is it is never more practical to be disproportionately risky than from 22 to 30. yet everybody goes the other way, it is a huge mistake. We need to flip it upside down. Everybody should go ham from 22 to 30 and do a ton of ridiculous and figure themselves out.
So, I joined the circus. Nah, I did Big Brother. Our Vita, Frenchie.
The guy said naked.
Far is, I'm shivering so hard. For some reason, you went 2 Vitas in his house.
I'm not putting you up, bro.
You are the new head. Let's go! Okay, I have a lot to share about the show itself, but I'm gonna save that all for another video. I don't want this to be an hour long. I'm just gonna talk about my experience coming right off of the show. I went on to Big Brother with 800 Instagram followers, and when I came off the show, I had over 100,000. There has to be a training manual for this type of shit. Coming off the show, I'd ask myself if I had any regrets, and the answer wasn't no. My toxic trait is that I am way too competitive. Oftentimes, I'm just competitive with myself. Oh, how many likes do I have? How many followers do I have? How many views am I getting? What's my engagement? And yeah, it was really messing with my head. I think what's helped me get through it is a lot of Xanax. No, I was kidding. One thing I've learned is the grass is always greener. When I had a job, I would think to myself, oh man, that'd be so cool if I could be like a content creator and not have to work a job, get to do the things I love and still make money off of it. Like, that's the dream. Now that I'm on this side of the fence, I'm looking at the other side and I'm like, damn, that job's pretty nice, man. You get health insurance, you get a paycheck every week, you know how much money you're gonna make. You just have to work 9 to 5. My friends don't even work 9 to 5. They're working like 10 to 3 from home. What it really comes down to is like, what makes you happier? And for me, I mean, I really have no complaints right now. So now the question is, what's next? And if you know the answer, DM me. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to be an actor, so maybe that. But what I have learned from this entire journey is I'm done chasing money. Which is why I teamed up with, no, I'm just kidding. This is not a paid post. Damn. I should have taken the job.